All right, people. So we're here for the third week of the Battle Hub Draft League Season 4. We're going up against the two cool Typhlosions, coached by Kobra. I want to say that I've had a couple casual Wi-Fi battles with them back in the day, but I honestly can't remember. But they've got a scary team. They've got their signature Hisuian Typhlosion that they love. They've also got Roaring Moon and Gholdengo. Very good combination there, along with defensive Pokemon like Weezing, Galarian, as well as Amoonguss, and the Gyarados here to put out some offensive pressure. But they've also got some other cool Pokemon like the dudunsparce and Gligar. So very bulky kind of defensive team with a couple of offensive mons thrown in like the Roaring Moon and the Typhlosion. So gonna be a little bit scary to take on, but our first Pokemon is going to be our signature Greninja, who is basically going to be a Life Orb Protean set with a bunch of basically coverage moves to be able to hit their team. With 24 attack EVs, I'm not even sure that we need that much though, but just to give us a little bit over the edge with the Protean Life Orb, Low Kick will take out the Roaring Moon because of how heavy it is, and because its defense stat is a lot lower than its Spadef. We also have, of course, Dark Pulse for things like Gholdengo and Espeon. Extra Sensory is going to be clutch for the Weezing Galar because that can take it out if it's Protean. And Ice Beam is going to do a heck of a lot to things like the Gligar and the Amoonguss as well. So with that, then we are now going to move on now. Although I just keep thinking if Protean was the same as it used to be, this would be unstoppable. Like I could just keep on switching up the moves and Greninja could win on its own. But unfortunately, they did have to nerf it, and I understand why they did it. But Greninja's still going to be a great Pokemon in this against this team. Next up, we're going to have Enamorus, who is kind of going to be our way of trying to outspeed the Roaring Moon. We are going to have a Choice Scarf here. I have Contrary on this thing. I don't really need it. I just figured it'd be cool if, like, I don't know, they get an Intimidate boost off, even though it's not really going to matter. But, like, a Spadef drop off a Shadow Ball or something will actually raise my Spadef instead. Little things like that could happen. Better than Q Charm, anyways. Max special attack, 88 HP, 168 speed with a timid nature is all we need to outspeed the Roaring Moon. And Earth Power will also hit Gholdengo as well as the Hisuian Typhlosion, unless it Terras. We're also going to have Psychic on here. Just so you know, I did also have Water Shuriken on the Greninja. I just thought about that, but I decided to change it in favor of Ice Beam just to be able to allow me to hit Gligar a little bit better. But Enamorus is going to be another very strong special attacker. The Psychic, of course, is also for that darn Amoonguss, just to give me a little bit of extra things to hit. Also Iron Hands, even though Iron Hands can also be taken out by a Moonblast. But next up, we are going to have... Oh, and like I said, the Healing Wish is going to be for our next Pokemon, which is going to be Annihlape here, who is going to be Choice Scarf with a Defiant, of course. That way we can get a potential Intimidate boost or Defiant boost off of Gyarados. With Rage Fist, Close Combat, U-Turn, and Thunder Punch. Thunder Punch will just take out Gyarados. We don't have to worry about it tearing or anything like that. And because we're Defiant, we don't worry about the Intimidate drops either. Jolly Nature, just to be able to get as much speed as possible. Especially versus the Gholdengo, we want to make sure we outspeed that. Unfortunately, we are not going to be able to outspeed a Scarf Hisuian Typhlosion, but at the very least, we will be fairly fast in this case. Next up, we are going to have Lycanroc midday, who is going to be absolutely key to trying to prevent us from getting swept by like a Terrifier, Choice Scarf, Typhlosion, with Life Orb, Steadfast, Accelerock, as well as Stealth Rock. This is going to be our Stealth Rocker this game. Because they have a Weezing Galar and I don't have a way to stop it from defogging, I'm not going to try to necessarily waste time trying to set up a bunch of spikes and Stealth Rocks. I'm going to just have it just in case. If there's a free opportunity to get up rocks, I'll do that. But otherwise, Crunch takes out Espeon. Close Combat takes out Roaring Moon, and Accelerock with Terra Rock can do a heck of a lot to Gyarados and Typhlosion. So, max attack, max speed, Jolly. Next up, we're going to have Moltres, kind of our defensive Pokemon here for that Roaring Moon. Max HP, max defense, bold with 4 Spadef EVs. Flamethrower, War, Will-O-Wisp, and Roost. I can't really hit the Typhlosion as good. Of course, I could have Scorching Sands, but I can't really afford to run it. I kind of need the Roar and the Will-O-Wisp to deal with the Roaring Moon. I need to Roost, I need the Flamethrower, but the Hisuian Typhlosion, like I said, is already kind of dealt with by other Pokemon. And I mean, in a 1v1 scenario, I could probably beat it. Overall, though, the next Pokemon is going to be our last, who's going to be Dragalge. It's standard Assault Vest, pretty much the same thing we've been running all season. Max HP, max attack, quiet. I was thinking about making it modest, but then I saw that I was still going to outspeed a Mungus, even with a quiet nature. And it's just to help get a little bit more damage off the flip turn, even though it's probably not going to be doing that much necessarily, but chip is chip. This is good, especially if the Typhlosion tries to just start going for eruptions versus me, or just flamethrowers that can come in. I'm Assault Vest, max HP, I resist the hit, I can weaken it. So yeah, that's going to be Dragalge, and that's going to be the team. So overall, I am still feeling like Kobra could definitely sweep me with a Roaring Moon, but hopefully the Moltres will prevent that. So with that, we'll see you guys in the battle.
As you can see, it's not just Emerald Miner, it's Heal Emerald today. And as you can see, we are going up against none other than Kobra. And they bought pretty much exactly what we're expecting, so Roaring Moon. Or Roaring Mid, as some like to call it. Then we got Gholdengo. Wheezing Galar. And of course, that dudunsparce is gonna come through. The infamous Gligar, as well as Iron Hands. So, no Amoonguss, no Gyarados. Always good to see. Unfortunately, though, we have to deal with the mighty dudunsparce, but I'm sure that we'll be able to handle it in time. So, gonna just lead off with annihlape right off the bat, as you can see. You might have seen my work last week versus Anastasia, some of my finest, if I do say so myself. All the beautiful hacks and everything, all of the crits and paralyzations. I'm sure we're gonna have even more. I've got a contrary in Amorous this time. It says if they were able to defog away my hazards, then they're gonna find that they're actually gonna boost my evasion. That's gonna cause all sorts of shenanigans. So we're starting off the bat with the Gligar, actually. It seems as though, because they see I don't have a hazard setter this week, that they are going to try to set up hazards in my face, unfortunately. So we're going to just have to U-turn out of here and try to deal with this thing immediately. We do have Greninja just for this purpose. Pretty much the only way we can get rid of this. So it is a little bit risky if I go hard into it. But I don't have a lot else that can deal with it, honestly. So that's what we're going to have to... Maybe I should have let off Greninja and anticipated it beat off. And of course the Ice Beam is pretty obvious here as well. So they're going to set up the rocks. Like I said, we're going to have to force hazards on them so they can defog them away for us. So the Ice Beam is pretty obvious here. They pretty much have only one switch in, being the gholdengo. But then I can Dark Pulse that. They could also go Iron Hands. Assault Vest Iron Hands. So if that's the case, what do they expect me to do? Is it best Dark Pulse, Ice Beam, or Exit? What do we think they're going to switch out into? Probably not Gholdengo. They could go Roaring Moon, but we can low kick that thing. I'm gonna just Ice Beam. Screw it. If they switch out in Gholdengo on a Greninja, Segment Steve. Alright, this should take some nice little bit of chip. That got a crit right off the bat. There we go. And a Furious. Heal Emerald. What did I tell you? We're here already, putting in the work with Heal Emerald. As you can see, some of my finest work here. Now we're gonna flinch this thing to death too. Immediate thaw. Into the roost. So this thing is probably going to try to paralyze something on my team, unfortunately. So, unfortunately, they evaded my grasp. They were able to immediately thaw out and not get flinched. Lucky for them. So now I'm going to bring in Red Tide. Yep, there's the glare. The only thing that I can afford to get paralyzed on this team. I don't think they have any... They do have a Draco switch in. But the Draco switching does not appreciate Sludge Wave, so I'm just going to drop a Draco anyways. And we get full parry, of course. Dragon Tail's out. Doesn't have to chunk. But they are weakened, so if we can get in a close combat Pokemon, that'd be pretty good right about now. Perfect. So, this thing is probably just going to Terra Ghost on us. We're going to force the Terra Ghost, that way we can crunch later. Or Dark Pulse it. They actually don't even Terra Ghost. Quite unfortunate for us, so they might roost up. We're going to go back out in Red Tide here. Unfortunately, that it's getting chipped, as you can see, but I can't really let anything else get... Can't let anything else get glared. There we go. Drop another Draco. They are going to withdraw. Ride the waves. Yep, there we go. This will still take a good chunk, though. Good chunk indeed. Gonna just flip turn out of here slowly, see what they want to do. They're gonna go for the Make It Rain because our Assault Vest were able to live. We're probably dead to rocks. Okay. So already, the axe has been coming through. Just flowing through immediately. Multiple paras, freezes. You'll have to see it. This thing is severely weakened. If we assume a Scarf, it's not going to do much to us. I still can't believe they didn't tear that dudunsparce. A close combat I could have just taken out. He's getting fairly weak though. So they're going to withdraw. Hard to tell if that was Specs or seems unlikely. Drunk Uncle. You're on damage calc on this thing. Certainly appears to be the Assault Vest if I've ever seen it, but I assume Iron Hands also gets knockoff like Hario, right? Surely. We could try to get the burn. If I go Moltres on a knockoff, it does not get knockoff, so we just go Moltres. They do have the electric move. This is getting risky, folks. Like I said, unfortunately, this is why I've had to put in the work that I've had to. The only way Emerald's going to win this season was packs, because this team has no defensive switches. There's the Wild Charge, just like you said. We are max defense, max HP. Of course, I can Roost here and remove my weakness. And potentially force them to get a burn. We really need this flame body on this thing. Alright, there's the Wild Charge. It's not going to do as much. There's the flame body. There we go. So. Right now, your Galgy's gone down already to gholdengo. Could Drain Punch me or CC and do more, but they are burned. If there's the Drain Punch, not going to do anything though. They might just switch out, realizing that it's hopeless for me. Yep. There's the switch. Unsung hero, the friend. This Gligar should take a good amount. Not enough though. How much can Gligar do? Surely this thing gets some type of rock type. Rock. Rock slide, yep, they get plenty of rock types. This could be a good time to try to boost the power of Rage Fist though. Take a little bit of Rock's Chip. Knock off. So we do lose our Choice Scarf. However, it's not the end of the world. The main thing the Choice Scarf was for the Gyarados. And now that we don't have, we're not going to be locked into a move, which is great. So we can just click Rage Fist here. 100 base power. Still does nothing though. But now it's 150 base power. Now, we do have the problem of the dudunsparce, which did not tear up previously. Unfortunately, we've lost our switch into this thing, of course. Scarf, this is going to be trouble. Because we don't have any Shadow Ball switch-ins at all. They're risking some drops here. Thankfully we didn't get it though. So we could take this thing out. But they know that we can take it out. If they let us get this. But something's gonna take a flamethrower coming in. This Gligar being gone is huge. Gligar KO'd by Moltres. That really opens up the way for us a little bit. This is Screaming Thunderbolt to me, if I've ever seen it. Scarf Thunderbolt. We still need this thing, quite frankly. We might just have to let it go down. It's not stab. There's the T-Bolt. Alright. Moltres. KO. Go. So what are our options at this point? They're locked into that. Go into this. We should hopefully live. Unfortunately, though, Scarf gholdengo pretty much just takes this game at this point. I was really hoping. I really should have flamethrowed it when I had the chance. But it would have left me really low and vulnerable to Roaring Moon, but we're kind of locked in that point either way, so we just have to crunch here. Pray we live. There we go. They do get the full para. You know, folks, sometimes my influence seems to affect my own Pokemon, unfortunately. So with that, we're basically KO by gold. We just can't seem to avoid the hacks, in this case, as it were. We are going to be faster. But the Namorous is going to take the rocks, unfortunately, and they're going to keep taking it. Because as much as I would love to Earth Power here, they do still have that losing Galar, but maybe if we can Psychic it into a KO it, then we can do something. I think that's our only chance. Well, that's GG's, folks. That is GG's. No two ways about it. It seems they were going to sack it off. And we lose to gholdengo 5-0. That is the unfortunate way that this game's going to go. I told you, the matchup was awful, honestly. Like, this is a horrible matchup for us. We had to try to play offensively as best we could. And that was just not going to happen. I should have tried to do this from the start. So, Enamorous, KO by gold. Really should have just done this from the start. Because I really need those other guys. I just lost a bunch of them for no reason. We do have 150 base power movement. Hey, takes it out. So we at least make it a little bit closer. Okay, by ape. Butcher could still actually win, theoretically. Probably have to get like a high roll or something on that other guy. Low kick here. Hope they stay in. Yes. So we should take out the Roaring Moon at least. Yep. Yo. If we would have just taken out that thing with an annihlape, we could have probably won. I don't think there's extra sensory kills, folks. But we can try. And I need the protein for it to kill. Yep, we need the protein. So yeah, that's gonna do it for us. Like I said, I think we're not gonna make playoffs because there's no way we'd be older with that rain team. So expect a bunch of heat from us because we're definitely out of contention. I tried my best to influence it with the hacks, but it's just not enough. So we'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.